Okay, so it's part two, guys. Part two. Yeah, okay. Part two. Ocean. Ocean, what does it mean? It means, well, actually it means people of the eye, the ocular, the oculus, the ocular. And in this video, we're doing part two. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I'll put me to one side. We'll continue talking about Hyperborea and ocean and the people of the ocean, because it looks like the people of the ocean were literally, they thought of them in ancient times as cyclops people, people with an eye, or people with an eye as a tool, like the shamir was basically an eye. It was an eye, or the Medusa eye, an eye that can focus rays, something that can focus rays, and that's what what the Medusa was, turning things to stone. Or we have the three women goddess, the old women with the eye, and they have one eye between them, and they're sort of magicians or something. Let's get into it. Very interesting. I have to put me out of the way, so let's just do that. Let's just do that. Okay, so let's go. So basically, firstly, Hyperborea. Why was it called Hyperborea? They were reading it off of a map. They read it off of a map, and so here's what happened. First, they read Iberia, Hiber, and then they read Borea, Britain. So Hyperborea. So that's Hyperborea. They were reading it off of this map. This is Ptolemy's map, based on more ancient maps, I suppose. And obviously, and I want to tell you something else. I want to tell you something very interesting. It is often said that Geoffrey of Monmouth invented his stories. He must have invented them. However, I have a proof in this map that the stories were actually much older than the 1100s AD. They go back to Roman times, and the proof is this. In the stories, it says that when Brutus and Quirinius arrived in Britain at this island, it was inhabited by giants, and they decided to split the island between them. So they split it in half. So one half went to Quirinius, and the rest went to Brutus. So Cornwall went to Quirinius, and Britain went to Brutus. And you see, Cornwall is almost the size of the rest of Britain on this map. So no wonder they did that kind of split between these two people, or these two tribes. However, this is not the case. Actually, Britain is far larger. Cornwall's just small. But it doesn't make any sense until you look at the old maps. A map from Roman times showing this story of Geoffrey of Monmouth. It could be a very old story indeed. But anyway, so onto the oceans. Look, this is so impressive and interesting. Now look, the Ogygia, the ocean, the eye. It is where the people of the eye live. And look at this, 7 centuries after Homer, Strabo criticized Polybius on the geography of the Odyssey. Strabo proposed that Scheria, that's one of the islands, Ogygia, and there's also Phaeacia, the furthest land, were located in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Another instance, Polybius suppresses statements. So he's criticizing Polybius. For Homer also says, now after the ship had left the river stream of Oceanus, and the river stream now, do you know what a river stream is? What do you think it means? What do you think it means? It is a trade wind. And the trade wind, it's like hopping on a river. When you hop on the river, you can go across the Atlantic Ocean like Columbus did. So that's what they mean by the river stream of the ocean, of the Ocean, of where the Oceans live. And in the island of Ogygia, where the navel of the sea, so in the middle of the sea, where the daughter of Atlas lives. So Atlas is, as we know, another word for Ogygia, the Og giant. Regarding the Phaeacians, far apart we live in the wash of the waters, the furthest of men, and no mortals are conversant with us. All these clearly suggest he composed them to take place in the Atlantic Ocean. Now there's more proofs of this. The fact that Homar is not really a Greek name, the name is Omar. It's Omar. And Omar, as we know, it's a name from the Near East. It's Phoenician. So the Phoenicians, they would have in the libraries of Byblos, destroyed by Alexander, unfortunately, they would know about the Iliad and the Odyssey and all these tales. They would have known, but all their libraries were wiped out, destroyed. But they were the ones who travelled around. They would know. Who else would know? So, fascinating. So all these clearly suggest he composed them to take place in the Atlantic Ocean. And this is true. Wine dark sea. We all know, pictures from Greece, the sea is basically an aquatic green colour. The wine dark sea happens, and this has been pointed out by someone I read online, it happens when the sun is very low. So it happens maybe in the North Atlantic, maybe around Britain in the North Sea. It doesn't happen necessarily in the Mediterranean. Around Greece. Around Greece, the water's a bit more shallow, and it's almost like a sunken land, an archipelago. Anyway, so I just wanted to show you this, guys, and you can read more if you read about Ogygia. Ogygia, one of the islands. It's probably the island in the ocean, or it's the name of that huge landmass around which surrounds the whole world on the old maps. But I just wanted to point these things out to you guys, so you know. And it means it means people of the eye. And Plutarch gives it the location of Ogygia. Okay, let's read it. First I will tell you the author of the piece, if there is no objection, who begins after Homer's fashion, with an isle Ogyggian lies far out to sea, distant 5 days' sail from Britain, going westwards, and 3 others equally distant from it, from each other, are more opposite to the summer visits of the sun, in one of which the barbarians fable that Kronos is imprisoned by Zeus, while his son lies by his side, as though keeping guard over those islands and the sea, which they call the Sea of Kronos, the great continent, America, and that'll be America, Antarctica, by which the great sea is surrounded on all sides, they say, lies less distant from the others, but about 5,000 stadia from Ogygia, for one sailing in a rowing galley. For the sea is difficult of passage and muddy through the great number of currents, and these currents issue out of the great land. The currents issuing out of the great land would be the waters coming out of the Amazon River or some other system, I suppose, or it would be the storms around the Caribbean, the hurricanes. Maybe that's what they're on about. And these currents issue out of the great land, the shoals are formed by them, and the sea becomes clogged and full of earth, by which it is the appearance of being solid. That could be the brown sea that comes out of the Amazon, maybe. Or it could be talk of icebergs. Fascinating. So, I just wanted to show you that it means the people of the eye. It means the Cyclops. That's what it means. It literally means the Cyclops, the Cyclopes people. And, this is amazing. It's these giants. Just amazing. They're from Hesiod, they're from Homer. Oh, Hesiod's amazing to read, just the best poetry. Anyway, just a brief video, just to let you know these things. I mean, the people in Greece thought that people living out in the ocean are these one-eyed Cyclops giants. And they thought that for a long time. It's in their mythology. But I just wanted to clarify that because no one knows. Anyway, there we go. Okay, guys. Well, I've got to go on an expedition now. We're going to look for King Solomon's mines in Africa. Okay, bye-bye. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm just going to take this hat off and